Impisi is theatre that has been stripped down to its most essential, and therefore it's theatre that it's at its most powerful. Two actors using the movement of their bodies, the movement of their voices, and just a few simple props and sound-making devices to create the complete African bush with all the creatures, the insects, the birds, a vast array of natural life. Now through this, the audience is drawn into the intimacy of a story about a young male lion who's in his prime and about to become the pride lion, the king of the whole of Africa. And it's at this moment that he suffers, decimated by an injury that has consequences that are just awful for him. During the story, we see him meeting the most unlikely character of an old hyena. And normally they would be sworn enemies, hyenas and lions, but they form this very interesting, beautiful in a way, a bittersweet relationship. And through this relationship, the lion overcomes these disabilities and these to still take his rightful place as the head of the pride. Anyway, so the story draws to a kind of a satisfying climax. But I think what's wonderful about Impisi is the way it's done, the way the story is told. using that language of theatre, using sound, rhythm, stillness, movement, space, using the voice to create such an instrument that creates such feeling, and all the time drawing the audience into the story so that the audience feels part of it. The audience is always very important to us, and it's important that the audience is close around, so we work in a way, in almost a sort of semicircle, with the audience close around, and we limit the number of people, members in the audience, just so that for everyone that's there, they have the opportunity of a really strong and amazing experience that theatre is capable of doing that we don't often see. So although impisi is about animals and birds and insects and things, it's really about us, human beings, and about our prejudices. So while we find that almost in so many cultures throughout the world, people, ordinary people like you and me, we are almost obliged to conform to a certain way of being. Through advertising, through so many other ways, through social pressures, parental pressures and so on, we are, in a way, we only accept a certain way of being. So anything outside of this we look upon with strange eyes. And we don't accept people who are different, who look different, who are disabled, people who in any way different. And so I think impisi is about that, encouraging us, encouraging the audience to look at this again. How are we with each other? How do we treat each other as human beings? Our record of treating the natural world is not a great one, and it's really under the spotlight at the moment, how we treat our planet. But even more significant is how we treat each other, how we see each other. So it is about, perhaps one could say that the most disabled of all creatures is the ordinary human being who's had his vision and his feeling and his heart shaped by influences to his great detriment. So we look at that during the piece, and I think in a very satisfying way. So the audience will come out of having seen impisi and be also inspired and invigorated to somehow be different. That's it.
What does impisi mean?
Impisi means hyena. So the hyena is an important character, not necessarily the central character. Perhaps the central character is lion, but I think the impisi, the hyena, is such an interesting animal because he's looked upon by us human beings especially as being quite an evil character, an evil creature. The what seems to be a deformed body, the way, the kind of lolloping, almost limping way of walking, and certainly being scavengers, and the look of their whole body is a very interesting one. So we use impisi particularly to stand for the symbol of that one who is prejudiced against because of the way we're conditioned to see.